You know, in modern warfare, some operations, they don't just win a battle. They completely redefine the battlefield. And this is the story of one of those, Operation Rising Lion. So while the world was watching diplomats, gathering for these last-ditch talks, a totally different clock was ticking away in the shadows. Secretly, behind that whole veil of negotiation, the countdown to war, it had already begun. All right, Section 1, point of no return. We're talking about the final, nail-biting weeks before everything kicked off. This was a period of insane pressure, where all the intelligence coming in would push leaders right past the point of no return. Now let's look at this timeline, because it shows this crazy double game being played. On the surface, right, February, alarms go off, Iran's speeding up uranium enrichment. By April, you see a little bit of hope. Talks start up in Oman. But look closer. In May, a deception campaign kicks into high gear, flooding the news with false optimism. And then, bam, June 12th, the hammer falls. Inspectors confirm it. Iran has enough material for 9 nuclear bombs. The time for talking? Yeah, that was officially over. And to really get why they had to act, you have to understand the sheer scale of the threat. It wasn't just one thing. First, you've got the nuclear program, now big enough to build a terrifying arsenal. That's an existential threat, period. Then, you've got the missiles. We're talking thousands of them, with plans to triple that number. Just overwhelming firepower. And third, you have the regional proxies. This whole network of militias armed and ready to create what they called a ring of fire. Look, any one of these is a full-blown crisis. But all three at once? That's not a crisis. That's a countdown to catastrophe. And this quote, wow, it just perfectly captures the secret war happening behind the scenes. While everyone's talking peace, operatives were pulling off one of the most audacious logistical missions you can imagine. I mean, think about it. Smuggling the parts for entire fleets of attack drones, piece by piece, right into the heart of Iran. And, at the same time, under a code name, Operation Narnia, they were drawing up kill lists, not just buildings, but the people inside them. So all the pieces are on the board. The order is given. The lion is about to rise. And here's how the most complex surprise attack in modern history went down. Now, this wasn't just some simple bombing run. No, this was a symphony of destruction, and it was conducted in 3 perfectly timed waves. First up, the Ghost Offensive. Mossad teams already on the ground inside Iran just activate. They've got anti-tank missiles, suicide drones, and they take out the first key targets nice and quiet. Then comes the second wave, the Swarm. From a secret base inside the country, a whole fleet of attack drones lifts off, hitting Iran's main missile sites. And only then, only after all that, comes the final movement, the Hammer. We're talking over 200 Israeli jets screaming across the border in a massive, overwhelming assault on strategic targets all over the country. All right, Section 3, Shattering the Sword. The effect of this 3-wave attack was immediate. It was overwhelming, and it was absolutely decisive. See, the goal wasn't just to hurt the enemy, it was to completely shatter their ability to even fight back, right from the first minute. Just look at the sheer ambition here. These were the objectives for the first 15 minutes of the war, not hours, minutes. First, paralyze their entire air defense network. Second, decapitate the Revolutionary Guard's command structure, leave them headless. Third, neutralize the ballistic missile launchers before they can even think about firing. And, maybe most important of all, eliminate the key scientists behind the nuclear program. The level of speed and precision this required, it's just off the charts. And the result? Staggering. Within the first hour of the operation, 80% of Iran's entire air defense network, the shield protecting the country, was just gone, wiped out. The country was left totally blind and defenseless. And to really put that into perspective, just look at this comparison. Think about the war in Ukraine. After years of brutal fighting, neither side has been able to get real air superiority. Operation Rising Lion, they achieved it in a matter of hours. Folks, that is what a strategic checkmate looks like in the 21st century. And the effect of that was instantaneous. Iran had this massive counterattack planned, ready to launch something like 1,000 ballistic missiles at Israel. But because that first strike took out their leadership so effectively, well, there was nobody left to give the order. The command chain was just broken. The counterstrike was crippled before a single missile ever got off the ground. But, as devastating as all that was, it wasn't the operation's real masterpiece. The most critical objective went way beyond just blowing up hardware. So you have to ask, right? In an operation with so many incredible successes, what was the single most important part? What was the one move that would change the game for decades?
Because the true whole here, it wasn't just about destroying today's weapons.
It was about erasing the knowledge to build tomorrow's. The ultimate target wasn't physical at all. It was intellectual.
And in a series of surgically precise strikes, perfectly timed with the main air assault, Operation Narnia came to its lethal conclusion. Nine of Iran's top nuclear scientists, the absolute brain trust of their entire weapons program, were neutralized. One analyst put it perfectly: the brain of the program erased in an instant. And that right there, that was the true checkmate. See, you can rebuild a building. You can even build more missiles. But you cannot just replace a generation of brilliant, specialized, one-of-a-kind scientific knowledge. The human engine driving Iran's nuclear dream was, in a single moment, switched off. So the success of this opening blow created a brand new reality on the battlefield, a condition that military planners dream about, and it can be summed up in just 2 words. And that condition is what military planners call clean skies. What does that mean? It means total, absolute, uncontested superiority in the air. We're not just talking about winning a few dogfights. We're talking about owning the sky so completely that you can do whatever you want, wherever you want, over enemy territory. You can strike any target at any time and face almost zero opposition. And the ultimate result of achieving clean skies is right here. With Iran's defenses gone and its command structure in total chaos, the road to the capital, Tehran, was wide open. A military official said it just 30 hours into the fighting. The airway to Tehran is basically open. The first punch didn't just stun the enemy, it left their very heartland completely exposed.
You know, the operation got its name from an ancient verse, one that talks about a people that will not rest until the job is done. And in the aftermath of that first strike, as all the smoke began to clear, it was obvious to the entire world. The lion hadn't just risen, it had roared.